if she's been gone for 2 years, why wasn't there a report of her missing 2 years ago? Why are they suddenly concerned about her whereabouts now? That's the part that doesn't make sense.
Pascal.
But we do have to get into this story about Harmony Montgomery, a 7-year-old that was missing, that has just recently been reported missing when she's been missing for 2 years. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either, but we're going to go through it. We're going to get into it, y'all. Harmony Montgomery was 5 years old when she went missing. This was 2 years ago. Okay, so she was 5 years old, but right now she is 7 years old. All right, or she would be 7 years old. God willing, she is still okay and she is still alive, but we don't know yet. Okay, and according to the Washington Post, a 7-year-old girl disappears in 2019. Police say they learned about this last week. I'm not kidding. Okay, the last time anyone reported seeing 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery was October 1st, 2019, more than 2 years before police say they learned she had disappeared from a home in southern New Hampshire. Officers say Harmony that day, while responding to a call for service, officers saw Harmony that day while responding to a call for service. Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg said Friday. They got a report early that last week that she had gone missing amid circumstances that Aldenberg called very concerning. I wonder what those concerning things are. I know people are going to say, well, here it is, 2021, almost 2022, and nobody's seen this girl since late of October 2019. So what's happened in the last 2 years? Fair question, Aldenberg told reporters last week. That's why I'm here today, because we need assistance, we need help, and we don't have many answers to many questions that we have. Manchester is offering a $2,500 reward for information leading to Harmony's recovery. And police are accepting tips on at this phone number 603-203-6060. Local business executives are offering an additional $10,000 reward. That's a lot of money, y'all. So if you guys have any information, here's the number one more time: 603-203-6060. All right. Police over the weekend visited the home on the city west side where Aldenberg said Harmony was last seen. The current homeowner is unrelated to the case, he said. Interesting. Aldenberg shared, so they must have moved. I'm assuming. Okay. Aldenberg shared a few other details about Harmony's vanishing, including the circumstances of the officers' visit at the home in 2019. Police have spoken with some of her family members since she was reported missing, and despite doing so, are concerned for the whereabouts of her. Okay, so now this is the thing. If this little girl was missing 2 years ago, and they just recently reported her missing, she's been missing 2 years. Wouldn't they be concerned about her whereabouts like 2 years ago? Just saying, does that make sense?
Not really.
No.
I do have this one thing from our uncle.
Hold on one second, because we do have that article. I do have that article, so we're going to get into that here in a second. He said Harmony was last enrolled in school in Massachusetts. And of course, we already know statistics about how many people that have been missing. About 1/3 of 90,000 people that are reported missing are juveniles. Most missing children reported to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children in 2020 had run away. That organization says, with many fewer taken by family members, abducted by strangers, or missing under other circumstances. Now, here's the thing. I don't get this part. Police have spoken with some of her family members since she was reported missing. And by the way, I'm going to repeat this again. I'm going to bury this bone even deeper into the dirt. Okay, so that all y'all in the nosebleed seats understand this. They just reported her missing last week. So, and despite doing so, are concerned for the whereabouts of her. Like I said, if she's been gone for 2 years, why wasn't there a report of her missing 2 years ago? Why are they suddenly concerned about her whereabouts now? That's the part that doesn't make sense. 2 years she's been gone. They finally reported her, and now they're going, where's my baby? That doesn't make sense. Harmony spent much of her early life in foster care in Massachusetts, where she looked out for her younger brother, Jameson, said Blair Miller, the boy's father, and a DC based reporter for Cox Media Group. By the time Miller adopted Jameson in 2019, he said state officials told him that Harmony had been reunited with her father. Okay. Despite the siblings' separation, Jameson often talks about his sister, and recently said that a girl at a park reminded him of her. Although Miller and his husband have frequently asked Jameson's mother, Crystal Sorey, if they could connect with Harmony, Miller said she has always responded that Harmony was in her father's custody in New Hampshire. Sorey, hopefully I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, often seemed worried about her daughter and frequently said she could not reach her, Miller said. He said he and his husband recently made their effort to reach Harmony's father through social media, but did not hear back. Miller said his family had not given up on reuniting Jameson and his sister. We even still get Christmas gifts for her and stuff, Miller said. We're holding on to the ones that we have right now because it's that important for us to have that relationship. You know, let me continue here. It just still doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, this, and I understand the married couple, the fathers, the adopted fathers of Jameson wanted to reunite Jameson with her sister and all that. But you go out there, you send out emails, you try to reach out, so on and so forth, basically saying, hey, we want to reunite these two. Be great for them to have that kind of connection, so on and so forth. And then they still say no. They still hear nothing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Manchester Mayor Joyce Craig's office received an email last week expressing concern about Harmony and the State Division for Children, Youth, and Families. According to Lauren Smith, the mayor's chief of staff, she said her office responded and sent the information it received to Manchester police. No Amber Alert is in effect for Harmony's disappearance because police don't have enough information about who she may be with or a vehicle that she may be in. This is what Aldenberg said on Friday. New Hampshire guidelines direct police to issue Amber Alerts only when they suspect that a child has been abducted by a stranger or by a parent who is showing signs that they intend to harm the child. Manchester police have discussed the case with the FBI, which is not investigating. The New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services, which oversees the Division for Children and Families, declined to answer any questions about this case. Harmony is described as a white, 4-foot tall, and 50-pound girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, and glasses. She is blind in her right eye. Although more than 2 years have passed since Harmony disappeared, Aldenberg said his department is operating under the assumption that she is still alive. He says right here, I'm in rescue mode right now. This is not a recovery. All efforts are focused on that Harmony is alive, and we are going to do everything that we can to find her in that condition. And this is just on this article alone. Obviously, there's more information out here. David's got a piece as well, which I'm going to pull up here as well. It's I guess some news and a little bit of information from the uncle and hearing his perspective. But still, this young girl, Harmony, is gone. She's been gone for 2 years. She's just been reported missing. Why aren't the parents, let's just say the adoptive parents of Harmony, why are they not brought in for questioning? Why are they not locked up? Right? Why is this a mystery right now? They should be bringing these people in like crazy, right? And sitting them down and interrogating them until they squawk. But apparently, that's not the case. It looks like Aldenberg has got his hands up in the air and just basically saying, I'm hoping that we find her, but this is what we got so far. Where are the parents at, y'all? Where are the parents? David.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, it seems like there have been warnings about what might be happening here in the past. One of the last things the Daily Mail, or the Daily Beast, sorry, did an investigative report into this. So they're the ones that actually went and spoke with the uncle, though his claims, some of them are on record as well. But they ended up speaking to the uncle of the girl, Kevin Montgomery, a great uncle. And he said that the last time he saw Harmony, she looked like a scared puppy. And he said that she looked this way during a contentious situation at the house and that Montgomery shared with several other family members, including Harmony and her parents. In October 2019, there was basically kind of a pushing fight at the front door, and the police were called and ended up coming to divide the family. Montgomery said that the incident prompted his nephew, Harmony's father, to stop all communications with the other family members, including blocking them on social media. He goes on to say, then the pandemic hit, and I just assumed Harmony and that side of the family was okay. I was worried, of course, but assumed everything was okay because I had not heard anything. And he told the Daily Beast this on Monday. New Hampshire authorities, pretty much what you've already said. They haven't seen her in a long time. They put out a missing child poster, which is here, and I also sent it to you over private chat.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah. So the mayor's chief of staff also spoke with the Daily Beast and said that primarily regarding concerns with the New Hampshire Division for Children, Youth, and Families in connection to Harmony, they simply just would not provide the details that the Daily Beast was asking for, basically. So the mayor does not seem, well, we don't know what the mayor's doing with the police, but as far as reporters are going, he's not talking as much as he could. However, the police chief, Alan Aldenberg, I don't know if you already said this one, but he says that for us to have a 2-year delay, that is extremely concerning. That's not something that happens to us on a regular basis. It doesn't happen every day. And in fact, they go on to say that basically they've never had a case like this. So despite this reward and these early warnings, they just don't have any information right now. Like Pascal said, they're still hoping to find the girl and save her, but they just don't have the information. Montgomery told the Daily Beast that Sori met with authorities today for a polygraph and DNA test, and today would have been actually yesterday, so that would have been on Monday. They would have gone in for this polygraph test. We don't have the results from that polygraph test yet, but it just kind of seems like she slipped through the cracks, that nobody was paying attention to her. According to the uncle, just because of the restrictions in communication during this whole big thing with everyone getting sick, he wasn't able to keep track of her at that point. And it does sound like there wasn't great communication between the family to begin with. And there was already violence within the family. Not too severe, but I mean, this was a case of violence to begin with. So we don't have a whole lot of information. He's really the only one that we've got additional details from. Obviously, the parents are pretty suspect in this one, more than most people, because they never reported it, and they're the ones that are supposed to
Right.
keep track of her. So all we know is that, according to the uncle, she was afraid and that he thought something was wrong, and that there was this dispute at the front door over who was allowed in and not. So we don't have all the relevant details, but we do know, because it is confirmed by the police reports, that this incident did happen. So at least that part of the story is true. And if he's saying she's scared, and the rest of the story checks out, he was probably telling the truth on that part as well. But that's really
Yeah.
all we've got. Is he's the only one that's really provided any additional information other than we don't know where she is.
Right.
And unfortunately, it kind of plays into the fear that the parents are involved. Though also, I don't see how this could have gone down without the involvement of her, caretakers, because it's been 2 years and they didn't report it once.
Yeah. Not once. And that's the thing. The uncle is basically saying, because Dull Knife said, "How long has it been uh, since they've seen Harmony?" In this comment, thank you so much for the comment. They haven't seen they have not physically seen her in 2 years. So the last time they saw her was in October of 2019, and it says it right here. The like what David beautifully read earlier. The last time Kevin Montgomery says he saw his great niece Harmony, he said she looked like a scared puppy, and of course she was 5 years old at that time. And this incident that he's talking about, that he's referring to, happened October 19th, October 1st. Sorry, October 1st of 2019. That's what I was trying to say. So no one said anything. No one has said anything at all about the whereabouts of this girl. No one has filed a missing persons report 2 years ago in October, because that would have been the prime time to do that, right? And now they are they now last week issued a missing persons report. Now the question is, who filed the missing persons report? Who's the one who actually went ahead and said this girl is missing? Was it Harmony's adoptive mother? Or was it somebody completely different? What caused them to sit there and say, okay, bang, she is officially missing now? And why did it take 2 years? Sorry, not 10, but 2. Why did it take 2 years to say that this little girl was missing, or is missing, or has been missing? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me.
I don't have the answer for that. The only thing the police have said is that they received the report 3 days ago, basically, about her missing. They do not say who sent the report.
What they did send it in snail mail? Like what? How was this report sent to him? You know what I'm saying? Did
Sounds
they
like it.
send it? Did they send it on like through an email on dial up? You know what I'm saying? Like they use it like old school, like AOL account, like some AIM messenger or some ish. Like what did they send it tied to a dove? You know what I'm saying? Like did they tie it to a bird and just say fly and figure it out? And then eventually 2 years later, it finally delivered to the front steps of the police department? That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense. Well over 2 years, y'all. Well over 2 years this girl's been gone, and no one said anything for 2 years? Mims, make it make sense. Hashtag Mims, make it make sense. This don't make no sense. The math ain't mathin', y'all, to me. They should be absolutely. They need to bring that the mother in. Sorry, what's her first name? I feel terrible. What's her first name? The mother, the adopted mother.
Chris Renee, sorry.
Yes, yes, Chris Renee Sorry. Right? You got Chris Renee Sorry. Yes, of course she's being brought in for a polygraph and DNAs and all that stuff. But at the same time, like, bruh, you're telling me she's been out here. This girl's been out here wherever she is, and not once. This is a 5-year-old girl, by the way, at the time. Imagine this. She's 5. It's not like this is a kid that just ran off and started, oh, I'm gonna go bike, I'm gonna go bike down the road and where's my kid? The lights, the street lamps are on. She knows the rules. This is a 5-year-old girl. This is somebody who's attached at your hip. Everywhere you go, you are with that 5-year-old girl, with that 5-year-old. She's 5. How can you sit there and turn around and go, she's not attached to my hip? Oh, she probably climbing trees somewhere outside, probably building a fort. She's 5. How would she be able to do that? You see what I'm saying, guys?
Mm-hmm.
This does not This does not work for me. The math ain't mathin'. David.
And so the one other piece of information, so this is definitely from her cousin. That part's been verified. However, if the police have looked into this, we don't know. The police have investigated or talked to a lot of the family. They just haven't released that information yet. But her cousin, Harmony's cousin, on social media stated that she was known, and this is a quote, known to be in the custody of her father. And that's what her cousin claimed. It is so the Daily Beast. It looks like they were able to confirm that it's her cousin. However, as far as I can tell, the police still haven't released who they've talked to or what about. So we don't know if the police are actually talking to her right now. But there is that social media post from someone who does appear to be her cousin, and said that that's where the information that she appears to be in the custody of her father came from. However, of course, no one has seen her for 2 years. And of course, Sorry, the mother, has also posted stuff saying that she's going to come find Harmony and I will never let you go, along with photos of the girl. But
Wait, I'm sorry. Who said that she would never let her go?
Sorry, the mother.
And that's a come on.
Yeah. And
test results came back, and that is a lie.
Well, the polygraph did happen last night, so we will see if they release it, or we'll see it at the trial, one way or the other, I imagine.
Unbelievable.
Unfortunately, the uncle admits he doesn't think they're going to see her alive again, and that's concerning because he's the one who most likely knows the family and the people involved, even if he doesn't know who it is. And so Montgomery also told the Daily Beast that he called one of the basically a child care facility on Harmony's behalf after he saw that she had a black eye, but he said that nothing happened. And 3 months later is when 3 months later, he says he called the police to the house where his nephew, Harmony's father, was, and the family lived. And this is the dispute, the kind of pushing fight that we discussed. So that's the last time he saw her. But before that, he saw her with a black eye as well. And the time he saw her later at the pushing fight, that's when he said that she was scared. And he also claimed that during this intense and chaotic situation that she was very quiet and not saying much. And, she just looked scared, like you were saying before. But that's all we've got.
Yeah.
Presumably the police who have talked to the mother, we know they've talked to the mother, and we know she's been before a polygraph. And the lead detective has also said that he's spoken to most of the family members. We don't know what that means because they haven't released the names. But the only one we know for sure that includes is the mother. Other than that, we don't have the information, but I assume they're just talking to everybody in the main family. They're looking for the father and everyone. Hopefully we get this information soon. I'm sure this polygraph will be a big part of it. I mean, the big thing is if we don't find out what happened to her, I'm not sure if there will be a trial. Hopefully they do rescue her. I'm not optimistic, but I mean, I hope they do find her and rescue her. But the people that were taking care of her don't know where she is, and that's not a great sign. And honestly, if she is harmed in some way, this investigation is most likely going to find the culprit by looking within the family, because that seems to be the only people involved, and no one in the family whatsoever is suggesting that someone outside of the family was involved, which is a key point here that I kind of want to stress. No one is pointing to a possibility that someone outside of the family did this. They're all pointing fingers at each other, and yeah, it's just a bad situation, and I hope we find out what happened to her, but
Yeah.
I'm not confident.
I'll say this though, too, it's clearly within the family, because here's the thing, and it probably was by the hands of the mother, and I hate to go straight for that, but it probably is Chris Renee, unless, I don't know, like if if there was already signs of physical abuse going on already, right? If there's the black eye situation, if she looked terrified and all that stuff, I mean, who's to say that, say, somebody who was abusing or beating her took it a step too far, and then next thing you know, she's no longer on this planet, she's no longer alive, so then they do whatever they can to discard the body. I mean, this is the same thing, like this makes me think of the Summer Wells situation. There's another one that I'm going to be talking about hopefully later on today or tomorrow, about another young girl, another baby, basically, that's been missing for just about the same amount of time. And it's finally been reported missing just recently as well. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And the fact that these people, like, if they're adoptive parents or if they're biological parents, they're not being brought in. The parental units aren't being brought in and being just drilled till they can't talk anymore, right? They get drilled until they actually speak the truth, right? You got a child, a 5-year-old girl that was gone, that disappeared. And then 2 years later, now there is a missing persons report. As soon as a parent does that, as soon as that there is a family member that does that, you are bringing every single person in, and you are just, like I said, you are locking them up until they talk, until they actually tell the truth. Because like I said, this does not make sense to me. And the fact that the mother, the adopted mother, even the father, who that allegedly this child was in his possession and all that stuff, right? He had custody of her and all that stuff in Massachusetts and whatnot. If that really is true, then you arrest every single last one of those family members and you get down to the nitty gritty. You do your due diligence and you make their lives a living hell until they speak. That's it. 2 years and a girl's been missing and no one said nothing? Y'all should be arrested for just that. Negligence. What is it? Child endangerment. I mean, shoot, you name it. I mean, those are all the things. You didn't say nothing? Come on now. I got a news clip, though. We gonna keep going. You know what I mean? This kind of stuff just boils my blood. Real talk. You telling me that's okay? Come on, man. Come on, y'all. How does that work? How does that work?
Tonight in New Hampshire and really across the country, people are asking why it took 2 years for a little girl to be reported missing. 2 years before we knew about this case. The chief of police among those asking that question. But tonight, no answers, no arrest, and no sign of Harmony Montgomery. News Nation's Marky Martin joining us live tonight with the very latest on this case and what we have learned new today and in the last few hours. Marky.
Hey, good evening, Marty. Police remaining pretty tight-lipped on this case, but did reveal today, earlier this afternoon, that authorities in the past, including Family Services, has visited the home of Harmony Montgomery in the past, but didn't say which family member the now 7-year-old was supposed to be living with. The police chief today during a press conference just saying right now the main focus of this investigation is gathering any and all information that leads to her return.
Okay, real quick. I'm going to roll that back one more time. There was so much that she said in those 30 seconds that she said. Let me roll it back one more time. Just humor me for a second, okay? Great, bless me with this time, because we're going to break down what she just said. Mims.
Today and in the last few hours, Marky.
Hey, good evening, Marnito. Police remaining pretty tight-lipped on this case, but did reveal today, earlier this afternoon, that authorities in the past, including family services, has visited the home of Harmony Montgomery in the past, but didn't say which family member the now 7-year-old was supposed to be living with.
Okay, that's a big piece of information right there. So you got CPS going in, checking out the household, the family, all that stuff, but they don't know, they weren't talking to the right people. They don't know who the person that they were talking to. They also don't know who is supposed to have custody of this child. Right? I mean, this is what I'm gathering.
The police chief today during a press conference just saying right now the main focus of this investigation is gathering any and all information that leads to her return.
Forget all that confusion. What we really need to know is get down to the nitty-gritty of finding this girl. Okay, maybe that piece of information could be very helpful, right? Maybe that information that she said in the very beginning, Marky Martin and the Funky Bunch, right? What she just said a second ago. No offense. Sorry. No offense. Just made me think of good vibrations. Anyway, you got a little bit of confusion right there, right? Of who's and what's it's and what does and doohickeys and whatever's, right? That piece of information is pretty important, but at the same time, still does not change the fact that it's 2 years. No matter what, I mean, if you are a concerning, caring individual where you had a 5-year-old bless you with their love and innocence and joy, right? And say you relinquish custody to, say, the father, the biological father, wouldn't you check up on the child? Wouldn't you want to be like, hey, how's the kid doing? Blah, blah, blah. Right? You don't wait 2 years and then suddenly go, wait, you haven't seen her? Oh, my gosh. I'm filing a missing persons report. Just in that confusion alone, how do you go from, passing back and forth the custody of a child to not hearing about said child for 2 years? 2 years, y'all. Almost you know what I'm saying? Work that out and make that make sense for me. Because it doesn't work for me at all.
I'm appealing to everyone. Help us find this little girl.
The little girl is Harmony Montgomery of Manchester, New Hampshire. She was last seen in October 2019, 2 years ago, but was just reported missing to police last Friday when they got a call from the Division of Youth and Family Services.
I'm not getting into specifics of where she should have been or who she should have been with, other than to tell you that where she should have been and who she should have been with, she's not with those people and she's not at that location.
Investigators not disclosing much more than that they're interviewing family members and hoping these photos from 2 years ago will help bring Harmony home. On Twitter, a woman claiming to be Harmony's mother says the girl was last with her father and begging for help finding her daughter. On Sunday, police searched a home in Manchester, which reportedly used to belong to the father's family. Tax records show it was foreclosed the summer of 2019. The new owner was cleared after cooperating with police in hopes of finding any clues as to what happened to the little girl and if she's still alive.
I'm in rescue mode right now. All right. This is not a recovery. All efforts are focused on that Harmony is alive.
These photos, the most recent anyone has, are 2 years old. Harmony is now 7 and has a vision issue requiring glasses. Even hardened investigators turning emotional, talking about such a strange case.
It's a 7-year-old girl. Somewhere out there, this little girl is, in need of help.
Yeah, this is a case that is gaining a lot of traction. I'll tell you this too, at this point in the case, the FBI has been briefed on it. They're standing by, but they have not been called in to assist just yet. Right now, it's about 30 to 35 detectives working round the clock on this case. As of today, that reward money for finding her has reached almost $13,000. And Marnie, at this point, an Amber Alert has not been issued for Harmony.
I really do hope that they find this little girl. I do. I really do. But it's been 2 years. And it's been 2 years since anybody has said anything. God knows where this little girl is. But I'm hoping that with us talking about it here, talking about it on this show, that maybe we'll be able to help the people in New Hampshire in finding this little girl. But still, to me, that just does not work for me. And I'm trying to piece out in my own mind is that you have a little girl that went missing for, just a day. Shoot, not even a day. An hour. As a parent or as a person that loves or cares about another individual, wouldn't you do everything in your power to find them? Wouldn't you be knocking down every single door? Wouldn't you be instantly calling the police? And I know that they'll all sit there and say, oh, there's got to be a certain amount of time before you can actually file a missing persons report and so on and so forth. Fine. But still, you would do everything you can, everything in your power to bring that child back home safely. Why does it take somebody 2 years to get out of their armchair, go down to the police department, and file a missing persons report? This is the piece where I want to know what the mother, the adopted mother is thinking, what the biological father is thinking, where their heads are at, and why aren't they all being brought in for questioning and being locked in there for a while? Especially the father too. Yeah, they're bringing in the Chris Renee Sori for her DNA and a polygraph, but that's not enough. If there's any way that they can get a hold of the father, they should be doing that. They need to bring that mother lover in as quickly as they bloody can. Because that guy could actually have the facts. He could have all the most important information on the whereabouts of where this little girl is. Like I said, again, 2 years ago, a 5-year-old girl by the name of Harmony Montgomery went missing, and they just filed a missing persons report last week. Let that seed just grow in your brain. Let that just marinate all the way down to the plums. And you tell me if any of that makes sense to you.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.